And the action is about to begin at the Birdcage. Game 2 of this weekend series for your University of Tampa Spartans as they take on the Montevallo Falcons. I'm Taylor Storley. Thank you for tuning in toward today's broadcast. Tampa 3-0 start with an 8-0 win last night. They are looking to keep the good times rolling today. Jean-Luc Glanton gets the call to the mound, but before we go through his numbers, let's take a look at the Montevallo's starting lineup. Leading off will be McGuire Turner, followed by Caleb Carl. Evan Radford bats third, with Jack Fitzgerald batting fourth. Holland Brock, playing catcher today, bats fifth, with Hudson Allen batting sixth. Ian Cartwright bats seventh. T. Foster in the lineup today, batting eighth. Mason Woolever rounds out the order, batting ninth. Foster did not feature in yesterday's game, but he gets the start today. Holland Brock moves to the catcher position for the action. Yesterday he was playing first base. The injury to Callagher sustained is keeping him out of the starting lineup today as Montevallo prepares to face the right-hander. Jean-Luc Glanton's coming off of a solid opening start of the season back against Georgia College. Struck out 6 over 4 scoreless frames. Glanton last season was at Georgia College and had a nice homecoming weekend. He was a longtime starter for them, featuring in 14 games, carried a 6-5 record, a high ERA for the most part, but still a pretty solid season. Glanton is looking for a solid performance today as Turner steps to the plate. Yesterday, Turner made some really good plays at the hot corner, but went 0 for 4, limited by the stellar outing out of Robert Satin, and then Lash and Tobin Moran closed the door from innings 6, 7, 8, and 9. First pitch from Glanton outside, ball 1. So Glanton's first pitch misses. He had a great outing last time, but wonder if Satin's great performance yesterday gives him a lot of pressure to try to do the same today. That's not how you want to start. Hit by pitch. Turner's going to get on board. That is the 6th hit by pitch of the weekend series. Turner didn't get plunked in the previous game. It was only Holland Brock and Maldet who had gotten hit. 2 Tampa players had gotten hit, including a Tampa player getting hit twice. That being Jordan Evans. That'll bring Caleb Carl to the plate. Carl had a 2-hit day, the only multi-hit player for the Falcons, given that they only mustered 4 in the ballgame. He got his average up to 190. He also has 4 RBIs on the season. Hasn't been able to improve on his tally. That's another strike, make it 1-1. Got my numbers wrong real quick. Carl was 1 for 3. I was thinking about Turner, who was batting leadoff and now is at first base. Turner isn't looking to steal just yet, but he might be out on a double play. There's Fikar. Throw to Woodburn. Back to first. They got it. 5-4-3. It's the 3rd double play the Spartans have been able to turn this weekend. So at the hot corner, Luke Fikar immediately makes a good play. Woodburn at second. He's been on the receiving end of plenty of Spartan double plays. Makes the throw over to Vanacek. Taking a quick look at the Spartans' defense. Fikar plays at third, Ponce at short, Woodburn at second, Vanacek at first, ball 1 inside. Soto's in left, Evans in center, Books in right. The main change being Fikar replacing Javi Martinez, and a couple of shifts in the outfield, seeing Evans go from right field to center, and Books moving from DH to right field. Gunnett Carlson is the DH today. Javi Martinez still out after the rough collision from yesterday's game at home plate. Popped up, and that'll be in play for Books. Just under the warning track. He fights the sun, almost loses it, but makes the catch. The command not perfect to start from Glanton. He did hit a batter, but he makes it a 1-2-3 inning thanks to a double play, which will take us to the bottom of the first here at the Birdcage. Warm-ups almost concluded. Mason Creasy gets ready to pitch for the Montevallo Falcons. Before we look at Creasy's numbers as we return to the field to play, let's take a look at your starting lineup for your Tampa Spartans. Jordan Evans leads off again. He'll be followed once again by Jesse Ponce. Braden Woodburn bats third. Jake Books bats fourth. Walker Vanchek's batting fifth, with Yohander Irigoyen batting sixth. Gunnar Carlson seventh. Javi Soto eighth. And Luke Fakar rounds out the order. Fikar is the main change for the Spartans today, playing at the hot corner, but we also see Gunnar Carlson returning to the plate after not featuring in yesterday's matchup. Creasy has a 0-0 record. He did pitch in the previous series for Montevallo. A shakier outing compared to the Spartans' opening starts. Made it through 4 1/3, giving up 3 runs. He did strike out 5 compared to just 1 walk. If the BABIP luck goes a little bit better today, might expect a solid outing out of Creasy. But this Tampa team has been off to a good start this season. They scored 8 and 15 runs respectively in their series openers last weekend and this weekend. If that's fair, that's a double. It is fair, and it'll roll all the way to the wall for Evans. Evans might think of 3 as it's slow to get picked up and right, and he is going for third. A leadoff triple on the very first pitch for the Spartans. That is a way to make an impact. Evans with a triple to start the ball game, and Jesse Ponce just needs to put a ball in the air to give Tampa the lead. Definitely not the first pitch Creasy was hoping for. Evans pushing it the other way, all the way to the wall. Good job fielding by Carl, but that's a tough ball to get to, and immediately the redshirt senior out of Willis, Texas is in trouble. First pitch now to Ponce. High and inside on the breaking ball, ball 1. Ponce picked up the second Spartan home run of the season and the first one here at home yesterday. He is the only player on Tampa to have a home run this season, which is a surprise, but Tampa's been able to score a lot of runs despite it. 26 runs scored in 3 games, 2 runs conceded in that same span. And it's a 1-1 count for Ponce. Low and away, make it 2-1. And Ponce's at bat will continue. Ponce ahead in the count. Ponce on the ground at first. Foul. Ooh, the first baseman also missed the scoop. Good thing it was a foul ball. Otherwise, Ponce would have been able to get to scoring position and score the run. However, might have had a half-hearted effort from Fitzgerald on that defensive play because of the foul ball. Here's the defense and how it looks for Montevallo. Woollever, Cartwright, and Carl in the outfield. Turner, Allen, Foster, Fitzgerald in the infield from left to right. Fitzgerald moving from right field to first base today. That one's ripped to second, picked up on a hop. Tampa takes the lead on an RBI groundout. There was not going to be time for Foster to bring the ball home. Montevallo just plays for the out, and Tampa gets on the board. That is exactly what a leadoff triple will do. Makes it very easy to bring that runner home. Base is empty for Braden Woodburn. Up high, ball 1. One thing I've noticed from this Montevallo defense, they've been very disciplined. They always prioritize getting the out instead of making risky plays. And even though it's not going to be nice to fall behind the Spartans again on the scoreboard, I think that is the right move because it's able to counteract any bad plays. For instance, if Foster tried to get the runner out at home and had a bad throw, the run scores and the runner's safe at first. There, he sacrifices a run just to make sure the out is secured, because in that situation, you'd imagine that Woodburn and Books wouldn't have a difficult time of bringing the runner home on a future at bat. 3-1. Woodburn getting ahead in the count. That time, avoids a 4-pitch walk. Let's see what Creasy does here. Up the middle, picked up by Creasy. There also was a player shifted right down the middle to scoop it up if Creasy couldn't get it. 2 away. 2 quick outs from Creasy. That'll bring up Jake Books. Tampa bringing 3 left-handed batters today. I wonder if Wyatt had better left-handed splits that saw Carlson on the bench. You'd imagine that Maddox King will eventually returns too. but he starts on the bench today, as that'll go low for ball one. A good day for Jake Books yesterday. Delivered 3 RBIs as well as 2 walks on an RBI double and an RBI walk. This will not be an RBI play, though. An easy grounder to Fitzgerald, and the inning is over. Tampa strikes quickly, but Creasy limits the damage. 1 hit, 1 run, no one left aboard. Tampa exits the first with the lead, 1-2. So it'll be Glanton continuing on the mound for the Spartans. No notable new players in the lineup today for U Tampa. We did have Maddox King making his season debut yesterday. The Irigoyen Glanton battery back at it again. The story of yesterday was definitely the performance out of Robert Stanton. 5 innings, 1 hit, 12 strikeouts. And no strikeouts in the first for Glanton, but he is off to a solid start, getting out of trouble quickly. But will a different starter lead to a better outcome for Jack Fitzgerald? Fitzgerald was hitting over 500 for the opening weekend, hitting 3 home runs, 11 RBIs in a pretty solid 4-game stretch for Montevallo, where they went 3-1. The Falcons have since dropped to 3-2. Ball one. For the season, Montevallo's now scored 37 in 5 games and conceded 40 in that same span. They'll be hoping for a better day on defense. But also, they'll be hoping to get things going on offense. They were held hitless until the 5th inning in Game 1. And Fitzgerald, you'd guess, would be a pretty good player to try to get them on the board. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Glanton quickly getting ahead. That one roped to right field. It's got some carry, but should drop before the warning track. Books makes the catch, 1 away. Not a bad hit at all by Fitzgerald, but Books has time to get there. He's been dealing with the sun. It's a bright blue sky, so the clouds aren't going to get in the way, but the glare could become a factor, especially later on. You'll notice the shadow creeping over the field, but for the start of the afternoon, usually doesn't get in the way. Spartan players have been affected by the same sun before, and it might affect opponents too, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 1. Notably, Alex Canny, who last year was able to pitch his senior season at Ole Miss. Swing and a miss, strike 2. 2 quick whiffs from Glanton to get ahead of Holland Brock. So Brock moving to behind home plate to form the battery. He was hit by a pitch and went 0 for 2 yesterday. He's going to rip one into the gap for the first hit of the game. It's going to fall just short to prevent a double. But it does get down in time. Fell behind 0-2 and capitalized. 1 on, 1 away. That'll bring up Hudson Allen. Keep an eye on the Spartans' defense. They've turned 3 double plays in the series, including 1 back in the first inning from Caleb Carl. Glenn will be hoping for another ground ball, try to keep Tampa's defense at work. Strike 1. Not a surprise to see him looking low and away. Wants him to roll over it either down the line or up to Woodburn, maybe even over to Vanacek. Oh, 1 from Glanton from the stretch. Tipped foul. This time changing location, going high and in. Gwynn's looked pretty good in this inning in terms of control. He's been getting ahead of these at-bats compared to the first inning where he'd fall behind a bit. Although Montevallo did make him pay for leaving a good pitch over the plate in the previous 0-2 count. This time gets a weak contact grounder, picked up at the Spartans' dugout. I believe that was Kenny Robinson with the grab. Tampa, wearing their standard white uniforms, carries a bit of a cream off color, which adds a little bit of flair, I might add. This one rolled on the ground, won't be deep enough for a double play, but Fikar gets the throw in time for the second out. Well, if you have to ground out, that's definitely the way Allen wanted to do it. A weak grounder that couldn't be turned into a double play. It advances Brock to scoring position. It's the tying run for the Falcons that Cartwright will be looking to bring home. Cartwright went yard in the opening 4 games for Montevallo. 1 home run, 2 RBIs. He's hitting .250 on the season. He also had the start yesterday. Swing and a miss, strike 1, the slider falling away that time. Cartwright was replaced for Widra later in the game. Struck out twice against Satin. He'll rip this one to center field. Not a lot of carry. Evans can settle under it, and the inning's over. That one sounded like it was going to go farther than it did off the bat. And while Cartwright avoids a strikeout, he'll leave a runner in scoring position. The Falcons aren't going to be hitless until the 5th today, but they do trail entering the bottom of the 2nd. More action from the SSC Digital Network when we return. As we begin the bottom of the 2nd, let's give a little deep dive into the background of Mason Creasy. I'm Taylor Storthy. Thank you for tuning in. The Montevallo starter transferred last season. Well, the previous last season, not over this offseason break, but the previous one, from southeastern Louisiana. He was redshirted following an injury and made his way to Montevallo. 37 innings. He struck out 22 in some solid bullpen appearances. He also had 2 starts and is the number 2 starter for this weekend series as the count goes 0-1. For the Spartans' leadoff man for this inning, Walter Vanacek, 0-2. Big whiff at the breaking ball. Creasy was doing a good job of eating innings out of the bullpen. Today they'll be hoping he can go at least 4, as the Montevallo bullpen is actually in surprisingly good shape despite the rough showing from the starter yesterday. Definitely not the second start that Zach Wyatt was hoping for, but it was a gritty one. He was able to go over 100 pitches, going through 4 2/3 innings. He barely couldn't finish the 5th as he had ran out of gas. But you know, when you give up a few runs to start the game, it's good where you can settle back in, and for the most part, Wyatt was able to do just that. Tipped foul, Vanacek staying alive, still 0-2 in favor of Creasy. The bullpen had a great outing for Montevallo, keeping Tampa scoreless in the final few frames. The lefty Gongwer had 2 innings of 1 hit ball, and Rhodes struck out the side with a walk in the 9th. Did he go? No, he did not. 1-2. Close check swing from Vanacek. Creasy was hoping to get the called 3rd strike on that slider low and away. It almost got Vanacek going around. The Spartan Jr. will have to be careful. Fouled away. Last season at the State College of Florida, Vanacek brought home 15 RBIs and had an even .467 on base and .467 slugging percentage, giving him just over a 900 OPS. That one's high, make it 2-2. Vanacek will hope to improve some of his other underlying numbers here today, now batting .167. Baby's on base will go up if he can draw a walk. He's drawn the count full from 0-2 to 3-2. It's Yoander Irigoyen on deck, who's looking to get his first hit of the weekend series. Swing and a miss. He'll have the bases empty. First strikeout for Creasy. First strikeout for either team. One away for Irigoyen. One of the few players to return to the Spartans in the starting lineup today. Woodburn, Irigoyen being the only veterans that were very active last season on the 2025 championship team. Deep fly for Irigoyen, but it's caught before the warning track. Didn't have enough distance to get behind Cartwright. 2 away. The veteran still in a little bit of a slump. We'll see if he can turn things around later today. For now, it's the new number 0, Gunnett Carlson. Carlson featured sporadically for Rice last season. Also previously was at the College of Central Florida and Florida State University. He was a two-sport athlete in high school playing football. 0-1 for Carlson. High and away, 1-1. One thing you might notice, Tampa does have some very solid depth with left-handed batters and left-handed pitchers. Carlson just adds to that caliber that Tampa can call upon for starts when they take on right-handed arms like Creasy. But so far, Creasy has not struggled against the lefties. The count will go 1-2 to 2-2. Fastball high and away. So Creasy one more time to Carlson. 10 the inning. Foul. Good job protecting. You can tell the infield playing a shift against the lefty. The shortstop playing pretty deep up the middle, right on the edge of the camera screen. Couldn't frame the pitch. That one just outside. Good attempt from Brock, though. Make it 3-2. Javi Soto's on deck, and he won't get a base runner. Good scoop at second. Tosses in time from Foster. Inning over. So a couple of one quick at bat, 2 long at bats. Tampa doesn't get a base runner this time against Creasy, who goes 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. Tampa holds on to a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back. Warm-up continuing for Glanton as Tampa prepares to hold on to their lead. I'm Taylor Sorthy. Thank you for tuning in on Tampa Spartans TV. The final game of the weekend series will be at noon tomorrow. Hope to see you at the field. And even though you might enjoy our broadcasts, it's always better when you can come down to the birdcage and watch the games in person. T. Foster will lead off as we get started. Foster making his first appearance of the weekend series. And he'll take ball one high and inside. Foster is a freshman out of Madison, Alabama. This isn't his debut, however. He did have a game before. He's hitting .500 in his very limited sample size for the season. So they also won't be saving any baseball he hits today unless it's a home run because it wouldn't be his first collegiate hit. However, if he did go yard here, they'd probably want to go find it behind the birdcage. It won't be a home run. It's hit over to Fakar. And Fikar's throw almost as high, but they get out number one. Good job of the hot corner by Fikar. One away. Mason Woolever will step back to the plate. Woolever received a lot of love from Coach Chandler Rose when I was able to talk to him yesterday with his strong start to the season. But he and Fitzgerald continue their cold stretch. First pitch ground out, 2 away here in the top of the third. Glanton getting some quick outs. He hasn't had too many deep at-bats. Keeping that pitch count low, he'll definitely be able to eat some innings. Kind of ironic. Coach Joe Urso said that this would be a weekend where Tampa would really have their middle relievers put to the test. But if things go the way they have been, Glanton can probably go deep and really keep Tampa the ability to use their high leverage guys instead. They did have a chance to run with a middle reliever yesterday, although they actually gave a longer outing to Alex Lash, who had a very solid 3-inning stint in the bullpen, striking out 1, giving up 2 hits, but they also didn't amount to anything. 2-1, falling behind but getting back level against Turner, who's back at the top of the order. He was hit on the second pitch of his first at-bat. He'll be looking to get on board again. 2 hits on the weekend. That one's not going to be number 3, make it 2-2. Hit sharply to second, scooped up on a high hop, and that'll be a clean out number 3 to retire the side. So Montevallo defensively retires the Spartans in order. Glanton returns the favor for a clean top of the third. Tampa still leads 1-0. The warm-up wrapping up for Creasy. He finds himself in the middle of a pitcher's duel. Glanton, 3 scoreless frames and 6 straight outs from Creasy, although one of those outs did bring home the lone Spartan run of the ball game. Bottom of the third about to begin, and it is Javi Soto getting us started. Soto, another transfer out of Santa Fe College. Santa Fe has really become a Spartan hotspot for Tampa players over these last few years. Opening up with Garavito as Soto's going to lay a bunt down. Can he beat the throw? Yes, he does. Caught the Falcons' defense snapping on the very first pitch. Heads up bunt by Soto, and he's on base. Urso's team is known for pretty aggressive offense, but they are also masters of the small ball, and that always benefits Tampa come postseason time. They can effectively make sacrifice plays happen. And whenever you're fighting for those single runs and those close performances, the ability to do a play like that will help. Another bunt this time laid down, but foul. Good idea from Fikar, 0-1. Fikar's actually a two-way player, believe it or not. He had a .470 ERA in 15 innings last season with Hillsborough Community College. His numbers at the plate were a little bit more fruitful, 15 steals, 20 RBIs, and a .340 average. If Tampa ever needs help in a high-scoring game, they could give Fikar a chance on the mound, although I imagine they're likely keeping him as an infielder more often, as he's not listed, actually is listed as a two-way player on the roster, but so far he's only played on offense. Another bunt down that will advance the runner, so Tampa with a runner in scoring position with one away. Good bunt from Fikar. That'll set the table for Jordan Evans, who opened the game with a triple. A clean hit down the line. Always tough when you hit it the other way against a shifted defense. Carl had to run a long way to get to that ball. If it was 5 feet to the right, Evans would have had a foul ball instead of a triple. That is the margins of baseball. Let's see what Evans can do right here. For dangerous, Ponce awaits. On the ground, foul. Also took a bounce to the foul territory as Evans goes down awkwardly. I think it ricocheted off of his foot, maybe. That one's got a sting, but Evans is all right. We continue with a 3-0 to a 3-1 count. Naturally, he'll get a quick little injury timeout to reset. If he's really hurting, he also does have a strike that he could take if he wanted to use more of the pitch clock time. Out in center field, there is a visible pitch clock. There also are a couple behind home plate as well. It's not visible on our broadcast super often, but it is there, keeping the pace of play pretty active. You'll sometimes see the pitch clock actually lead to a violation. 3-1 now from Creasy. Strike two, high breaking ball, clips the corner. One away, payoff pitch to Evans. Creasy battles from 3-0 to 3-2, and here it is. On the ground, splits the hole. They might be able to send the runner. They will. They are going to go super aggressive on the base path. Play at the plate. They get the tag. Great throw from Foster to get him out at home plate. Evans singles and gets to scoring position. Urso rolls the dice. Brock makes the tag. Unlike the close play at the plate we saw yesterday between Martinez and Callagher, no collision, no injury, just out number two. What a nice defensive stop. The shift allowed that ball from Evans to roll very deep to the outfield, and that's why Urso decided to gamble, decided to send Soto to the plate, but Soto just a step behind the throw. Brock makes the tag. And now we're back where we were just a moment ago. Runner at second, two away for Jesse Ponce. That is the second time a Spartan runner has been thrown out at home this weekend. Still 1-0 Tampa. First pitch for Ponce. Good breaking ball just outside. Ponce won't be able to get a ground out RBI in this at bat. He did so to start the ball game, though, making it 5 RBIs on the season. Doing another pickoff throw. You could also tell when the outfielder started coming in to try to back up any bad throws from behind home plate. Good job, though, so far from Holland Brock, the junior out of Fairhope, Alabama. Brock was playing first yesterday, but with the injury to Callagher, he's behind home plate today as the count goes 2-0. That was another close call. Sam Birch is behind home plate today, and he might be giving an advantage to the pitchers. At least not in this at-bat. Trying to think about how the strike zone has been. John Bennett moves from the home plate umpire to the infield umpire today. Low again. And it's most likely just missing a little bit low here from Creasy as he falls behind 3-0. He did battle to a 3-2 count against Evans. He's had multiple 3-ball counts today. That pitch count is going to start to climb for Creasy. And that time the curveball gets him back in the battle, 3-1. On deck is Braden Woodburn, and you know Woodburn would relish the opportunity for 2 on base with 1 in scoring position. Chopped foul. That was going to be a strike, so good idea just to try to poke the bat forwards. Full count now to Ponce. So the Northern Oklahoma transfer trying to keep the inning going. 3-2 from Creasy. Runner not going to go from second. Ball 4, low and in. First walk of the game for the Spartans. And they'll get a 2-out base runner. Braden Woodburn drew a 3-1 count, but grounded out. Unable to do any further damage with the bases empty. He's now getting called upon in the clutch with 2 on base, 1 in scoring position with 2 away, and the defense has shifted all the way to the left. Strike 1 in the outside corner. You see Foster, the number 16, he's the second baseman. He is playing up the middle in terms of the defense. And the outfield's also shifted a little further to their right as well. That one fouled the opposite way. That will be out of range of the first baseman, try as Fitzgerald might. That one's actually going to go onto the U Tampa campus right by Strass Hall. The dormitory right behind the field, next to the field. Both Morsani Hall and Strass Hall have good views of the baseball field, depending on where your room is located. So you might be able to watch out of your window to see some of the games if you're on campus. 0-2 now to Woodburn. Creasy getting ahead. And almost hits him in the head, 1-2, just missing that high curve. I do think a rule that could transfer from NPB to American sports is the automatic ejection for hit by pitches on the head. The dangerous pitch rule. I think that would do a good idea for player safety and emphasize more control out of starters, which could be useful in the modern game. Foul back, still 1-2. Two on for Creasy, trying to escape the jam. Hit the other way, and once again foul. Will that stay in the netting? Yes. It's very far out of play, however. Three steals, 3 RBIs on the season for Woodburn. He wouldn't mind increasing that number to 4. Woodburn popped up. Unless this is dropped, this will end the inning. Left fielder closing in, makes the catch. Battling the sun, Woollever finds the ball, and the side is retired. Good battle for Creasy to get out of the jam. While Tampa gets 2 base runners stranded after 2 hits, a great play to get the runner at home prevents them from scoring. Still 1-0 Tampa. And we're back here at the U Tampa campus. The warm-ups wrapped up for John Luke Lanton as we get set for the top of the 4th inning. Taylor Stowe with you here on the broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for dealing with some of our technical issues throughout the weekend. as we continue with more action and more Spartans baseball. However, Tampa is not the only team on campus that's been active this weekend. Right across the street at the Bob Martinez Center is Tampa basketball, having a pretty successful weekend. Women's basketball just defeated Embry-Riddle. And men's basketball will also be hosting the Eagles in a few moments' time. Tampa softball won their doubleheader against Southern Wesleyan and Georgia College earlier today, 4-2 and 7-2 respectively. Only one game today for the Spartans as the count goes 2-0 for Glanton. And just needing to clear a little bit of equipment out of the on-deck circle before the next pitch. Make it 3-0 from Glanton, falling behind to start the frame. Caleb Carl, Evan Radford, Jack Fitzgerald, the 3-2 up this inning. And Carl might get on base with a walk. Yes, he does. Inside ball 4. Close call, but it's a 4-pitch walk to start the inning. The first walk or strikeout from Glanton today. Every other outcome has come with a ball in play or that hit by a pitch to Turner to start the ball game. One on for Radford. He flew out in a similar spot in his previous at-bat. Although actually the bases were empty because of the double play from Carl the first time. Tipped foul, strike one. I like the idea on the swing there from Radford. Just saw a 4-pitch walk. You'd imagine that you'll see a strike on the very first pitch. And he did see a slider low and away that was in a hittable location. The 0-1 just outside. No swing this time. The frame from Irigoyen, not enough. So 1-1 from Glanton. His pitch count now up to 35 in the ballgame. Down low. Bit of sharp break on that one. Make it 2-1. Good discipline to start from Radford. Evan Radford, a redshirt senior out of Hoover, Alabama, previously at East Mississippi Community College. That's also where his teammate Matthew Birdsong previously attended. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Two on the way. Tipped foul. That one dropping away from Radford, but he still gets some contact. Tampa would love to convert a 4th double play of the weekend series. And the count goes 3-2. Will the runner be going? I cannot confirm if that'll happen. Carl does not have a steal or steal attempt this season. But maybe they send him on the payoff pitch. 3-2 from Glanton. High and hits him. Missed his spot. 2 aboard and no one out. I suppose you'd rather a hit by pitch than a walk, but not the ideal outcome, as that'll send Sam Militello out for the first mound visit of the Tampa homestand. We didn't need Militello at all to visit the mound in the game last night. They will give a quick check-in for Glanton today. That also might see Tampa's bullpen eventually get active. Pitch count is at a good level for Glanton, but struggles continue. Maybe Tampa does look for someone to come in. The only players they used yesterday out of the bullpen were Alex Lash and Tobin Moran. They've got other relievers rested, just like Sammy Bear, the player who closed out the second game of the series against Georgia College. Here comes Jack Fitzgerald, tying run halfway home with no one out. Sometimes you'd look to bunt and advance the runners, but I highly doubt you'd have the hot-hitting Fitzgerald do that right here. Tampa's defense playing at double play depth. They're hoping for a ground ball. Fitzgerald flew out to start the game. First pitch. Ball one. Good block by Irigoyen. So Tampa continuing a 3-game win streak for the start of the season. That win streak is technically a little bit longer when you count the World Series last year, Tampa winning the national championship. 1-1. Montevallo just had their 2-game win streak get snapped yesterday. Win, loss, win, win, loss. That's how their first 5 games have gone. Can they get back in the win column? 1-1 from Glanton. Swing and a miss on what would have been another hit by pitch. That one drifting high and inside. But it's a benefit. He swings, misses, and brings the count to 1-2. Ahead in the count after getting to a bit of trouble. How will the 1-2 pitch go? Down to the dirt. Good block by Irigoyen. Keeps it in front of him, despite the weird bounce. Foul back again. That one tipped foul by Fitzgerald. Fouled again. Good job protecting by Fitzgerald. Glanton's still looking for strike 3. Fouled again. Still 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he finally wins a lengthy battle. Great slider, slowing it down. Fitzgerald couldn't keep up. Ball one, missing down low on a slider. That brings Holland Brock up to the plate. So 1 strikeout now for Glanton. Brock singled in his previous at-bat. And he's going to get ahead 2-0. Swing, did he go? Yes, he did on the 2-0. Montevallo fans aren't going to be happy about that call because most of those double checks, which have been against Spartan batters, have gone the way of the batter. This time, they say that Brock does go around, make it 2-1. High, 3-1, so Brock gets back ahead. On deck is Hudson Allen, and he might have the bases full with 1 away. Could be really dangerous, a great opportunity to open the scoring. Swing and a miss down low. That would have been just at the edge of the zone. Strike 2. Popped up. Full count pitch goes straight up for Ponce. There will be the infield fly rule. Both runners stay put, 2 away. Hudson Allen now. He'll be hoping to draw another long at bat out of Glanton. His pitch count has jumped up quite a bit today. First pitch, foul, strike one. It's now up to 53 for Glanton from 33 to start the inning. Productive inning at the plate, even if it doesn't result in the game-tying run. We'll see if Montevallo can capitalize with 2 away. Hit sharply to first, weakly to first. Toss in time, inning over. Good fielding by Vanacek. Side retired. Glenn gets into trouble, but after a talk with Sam Militello, he gets a strikeout, he gets a pop-out, he gets a ground-out, and Tampa hold on to a lead. No hits, 2 stranded. Bottom of the 4th. Spartans due up will be 4, 5, and 6. So here we go. Creasy continues for the brand new inning. Another trip through the heart of the Spartans order. Books, Vanacek, and Irigoyen await. He kept the 3 of these players off the base path in their first at-bats. But here they go for another try. Taylor Storthy here with the Sunshine State Conference Digital Network on Tampa Spartans TV. Thank you for tuning in for this weekend series and the home opener for U Tampa. First pitch from Creasy, strike one. Curveball floating right down the zone. Books, the senior transferring from Coastal Carolina, fouls this one away. He has showcased a solid power on his bat this season. Didn't get too many chances to shine last year with Coastal Carolina. Former top 500 prospect back in high school. The 0-2 flared foul again. Is that another one to clear the net? Nope, that one just bounces off of it. Still 0-2. Creasy's feeling comfortable with his curveball. Maybe the scouting report says Books has trouble with the curve. Those hard foul balls might indicate otherwise. 0-2 still from Creasy. Swing and a miss, speeds it up, his second strikeout. So that was the plan. Pretty good job mixing speeds. Make it 1 away for Walter Vanacek. Tampa was just held to 3 runs in that previous game. Game 2 they had against Georgia College. And today it's looking like a similar outcome as strike 1 is taken by the first baseman. Will Tampa's offense contribute a little bit later? Should Montevallo have to move to the bullpen? Lined, and that's going to beat the shift into right field. Would have beat a second baseman standing there either way. It's a 1-out single for Vanacek. The pitch count at 57 for Creasy. There were some players moving down to the bullpen, but no one seriously warming up just yet. We should see Creasy at least until the 6th inning, I'd imagine. Tipped foul. Strike 1 for Irigoyen, who's in a little bit of a cold stretch to start the season. But Tampa knows that he can quickly bounce back. The 1A alongside Garavito for their 1A, 1B catcher situation in 2025. He now gets the top spot solo on the depth chart this year, unless they move Vanacek back to catcher sometimes. They could do that for Game 3 of the series, or maybe they give a start to someone like Drew Kennedy, or Matthew Fogel, or Casey King. 1-1. Irigoyen down the line. Did he break his slump? Yes, he did. See ya. 2-run shot, and Tampa leads 3-0. Just what the doctor ordered. Irigoyen, 2-run shot, Tampa up 3-0. First homer of the season for Irigoyen. He's now got 4 RBIs for the 2026 campaign. That's rough for Creasy, who is hoping to maybe coax a double play out of the Spartan catcher. Instead, it extends Tampa's lead by 2 extra. Fouled away a little bit late on that fastball for Gunnett Carlson. That is a very clean swing, though, out of Irigoyen. A beautiful home run into the bright blue sky, into the Tampa skyline, which surrounds the field. Strike 2 taken. Alongside the Tampa dorms in the right field, you see buildings throughout Tampa down the left field line. An absolutely beautiful view you can only get here from the U-Tampa baseball field. Another reason why you should come to our games. Swing and a miss. Quick strikeout in response from Creasy. His 3rd of the game. 2 away now for Javi Soto. He's got an awesome walk-up song, the classic, I Can Feel It Coming. I believe that's the title of the song, but you know it's the chorus that goes, I Can Feel It Coming in the air tonight. Absolute banger. It's actually part of the Disney movie Brother Bear, too, I think. Who remembers that one? Anyway, that one tipped foul, make it a 1-1 count to Soto. Soto singled in his previous at-bat and was thrown out at home on an aggressive send from Coach Joe Urso. You like the idea? The execution just not strong enough because of the great play from the freshman second baseman. Soto a little early, make it 1-2. That one hit, and no one can see it, but the left fielder does. I like the reaction from Turner once it left the bat. He quickly indicated that he was not going to be able to make the catch, and, well, he definitely wasn't. That one went all the way to the warning track. Inning over. A good at-bat to end the inning from Creasy, but the damage was done off that 2-run shot by Irigoyen, 3-0 Spartans. So, a little extra run support given to John Luke Lanton in the previous frame by his battery mate, Joander Irigoyen. 2-run shot puts Tampa up 3-0. Cartwright, Foster, Woolever to the plate now. Cartwright flew out to center field in his last at bat. First pitch on the way from Glanton. That time it's popped up. Is it in range for Irigoyen? It is off the net and into the seats. This booth is kind of protected by the tarp above home plate. And, of course, the net that surrounds the field, so we're not really going to get any foul balls into the broadcast booth, which always is something for broadcasters to watch out for when they're calling baseball games. The 0-1 pitch fouled. Fikar tracked it down the line. Make it 0-2. Glanton only went 4 innings in his previous start, so we're into a little bit of uncharted territory for him this season with the Spartans. Not that he can't handle the distance. I mean, he had 14 starts last year at Georgia College, and he did go deep in some of those games. So, just more so, he hasn't had as many deep outings here in 2026 yet. And he's going to get his second strikeout as the 5th inning continues. 1 away. Just 1 hit, 1 walk, but now make it 2 Ks. Here comes T. Foster. Ironically, he's had more hit by pitches than hits or walks today. So it's not bad from Glanton, but not ideal to plunk 2 people if you can avoid it. But he's worked himself out of trouble before. Here's now the 0-1. And he's looking to not get into trouble here as he gets ahead 0-2. Foster grounded out on a 1-1 count in his previous at-bat. And he'll foul this one away to stay alive. Still 0-2. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Drop third strike. Irigoyen will make the toss. 2 away. Woolever now. 2 outs. The lone lefty in the lineup for Montevallo ready to go. Woolever grounded out on the first pitch of his first at-bat. He'll take ball 1 inside here. He'll take ball 2. Inside, but also lower. Ball 3. Great discipline by Woolever in this at-bat. Not going around just yet. On deck after the freshman is McGuire Turner. And it's ball 4. Woolever gets on base with a 4-pitch walk. Second walk of the afternoon for Glanton. We'll see if Woolever's active on the base path. He's got 2 steals this season. They might put Irigoyen's arm to the test. 1 on, 2 away. Tying run on deck for Montevallo. That 3-run shot extends Tampa's lead and gives them a larger cushion. Ball 1 outside, 5 straight misses from Glanton. After 7 straight strikes to start the inning, notably the 4-pitch at bat, which led to a foul ball and 3 strikes. Here's the 1-0. Fouled, 1-1. Finally got a good pitch to hit. Turner sends that the other way. Turner's over 1 today. Runner goes. Irigoyen's throw, not in time. Woolever picks up his 3rd steal of the season. One and 1 count. Runner now in scoring position. Tipped foul, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trying to go high with a breaking ball and misses. Payoff pitch. Fouled. And the at-bat will continue. 2-2. 3-2. Ball 4. So close to ending the inning. Great take by Turner. 2 straight 2-out walks. And that'll bring up Caleb Carl as the tying run. And here comes Sam Militello back out to the mound to talk things over with Glanton. By the way, as we currently begin that mound visit, do want to share some somber news from the baseball world. Rest in peace to 3 times World Series champion Terrence Gore. Passed away today. He was known for his speed and defense, 2 qualities that are very present throughout so many Tampa outfielders here at the D2 level. Gore made that archetype work in the majors to his benefit. He was 34 years old. So, 2 away. Here comes Caleb Carl. Mound visit over. Glanton's got a new game plan. He'll be ready to convert. First pitch from Glanton. Ball down low. That one up high and foul. They're going to say it took a bounce downwards before rolling into play, make it 1-1. Similar to the play that shaked up one of the Spartan batters where it hit awkwardly off of them and then eventually rolled foul. Although I don't think that Carl will need too much time to reset before continuing the AB. 1-1 count. Fouled again. 1-2 this time. Ripped it to center field. This could bring home a run if it's not caught. That's going to fall, and Montevallo are on the board for the first time this weekend. Carl with an RBI single puts runners at the corners. From 1-2 down to the count, delivering a clutch base hit. His 5th RBI of the season. That also advances Turner to third. And Evan Radford has a chance to tie the game, but before that, Tampa will make a call to the bullpen. Glanton can't escape the 5th, but a solid second outing of the season. Just the second hit surrendered today. Brings home the first run. He will be responsible for the 2 base runners. But Coach Urso going to try someone new to get out of the jam. 3-1 Spartans, but Montevallo have broken their drought. The alarms have sounded the bullpen. Coach Joe Urso has brought out the fireman, Sammy Bear, to the mound. He was active last season out of the bullpen with Indian River State College. 34 strikeouts in 37 innings. He moved to Indian River State College after an injury didn't allow him to pitch at Florida Atlantic University. Since then, he's performed well. He's made his move to Tampa, and now he gets a call in a high-leverage spot. 2-on with a 2-run Tampa lead. John Luke Glanton's final line score, 4 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 3 Ks. He is responsible for the lone run that's scored in these two on the base path. We'll see if he ends with 1, 2, or 3 earned runs. Command wasn't perfect for Glanton, but he did avoid too much trouble up until this inning. But as he gets into a bit of danger, Urso using this as a chance for Bear to try to get out of the jam. He'll have to bear down, if you will. And yes, I will make some puns like that from time to time. So Sammy Beer ready to continue. It's not bear, it's beer. But he still will be looking to bear down no matter what. He'll be taking on Evan Radford. 2 away, 2 aboard. Radford hit by a pitch last time. Popped up on the very first offering. And unless this one's dropped, the escape will be complete. Ooh, stumbling, Ponce makes the play. So he picked up the save against Georgia College. He's already in line for a hold as we end the 5th inning. The top half of that side is finally retired. Glanton ends his day with 1 earned run. As Montevallo gets on the board, Tampa still leads 3. So Creasy will be hoping to escape the 5th inning, something that John Luke Glanton wasn't able to do today. Glanton does still end with a very solid outing. 4 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 3 Ks, his official final line score. Creasy, meanwhile, has surrendered 5 hits and 3 runs, but he is in line for a quality start should he make it through 6. First pitch on the way to Luke Fikar. Ball 1. Fikar laid down a good sacrifice bunt back in the 3rd. And this time, swinging away, that one's lined to center and caught. A good hit to Cartwright, but sadly it went right to Cartwright. 1 away. Back to the top of the order, it's Jordan Evans. Singled and tripled. A double and home run would give him the cycle. Tampa as a team needs a double to hit for the cycle today. As they do have a triple, they do have a few singles, and they have that home run from Irigoyen. This won't be a double from Evans, but he does make it a close play at first and beats the throw. Wow, great hustle out of Jordan Evans. I could have sworn the throw beat him, but it looks like today the ties are going to the runners. Tough luck for Turner, who has had a stellar weekend at the hot corner. Couldn't get the throw in time, and Evans is safe. Evans, 2 steals on the year. Maybe they send him. Here comes Jesse Potts. I seem to recall a hit and run yesterday with Jesse Ponce. The hit ended up leaving the park. It was Ponce's second home run of the year. Runner stays put, ball one. And that does see some players tossing out in the bullpen for Montevallo. We'll see if Creasy can make it out of the fifth inning. Quick pickoff throw, safe. They narrowly avoid the tag. Fitzgerald is not happy at all, and neither is the dugout for Montevallo. Coach Rose is coming out to talk to the umpire, and that was a close play. They did catch Evans a little far off the bag. They just didn't get the tag in time. They usually don't get those calls overturned. And Rose expressing some displeasure with the call. But he does seem satisfied with the explanation. Make it 1-0. Do wish that we had Evans mic'd up. Wonder what he was talking about from that previous play with Fitzgerald. They seem to have been sharing a laugh about it. As the count goes 2-0, missing just outside to Ponce. Let's see if they send Evans another quick turn. Another quick tag, but Evans a lot cleaner and safer this time. Strike one. Creasy avoids falling behind 3-0 in the count. 2-1 to Ponce, who's worked some long at-bats before. Runner takes a jump, but doesn't go. That ball bobbled as the count goes 3-1. Brock was ready to throw back to first. So 3-1 now for Ponce. Safe again on another pickoff throw. No disengage limit here in D2 compared to the majors. That's the third time they've done it in this at-bat for Evans. Do they send the runner now? One away, one aboard, and they're going to turn and go again. Evans safe again. 3 hits on the day for Evans, who's continuing to bump his batting average up. This weekend, the average started at .333. Went 1 for 3, and now he's 3 for 3. Evans goes, strike 2, and no throw from Brock. Third steal of the season for Evans as the count goes full. That'll end the double play threat for now, unless there's a line drive straight to Hudson Allen. Or if they turn into a good back pick to second. Also something they've tried once or twice. Ponce with a line drive to center field. Cartwright backing up. Can he get under it? No, it falls over his head. Tampa will go up 4-0. Ponce stays at 2. An RBI double. On the full count pitch, an RBI double from Jesse Ponce. His sixth RBI of the season. And Tampa makes it a 4-1 lead. And a quick pause for Foster to get, I think, a pair of sunglasses. Or at least something new for his equipment. That'll bring up Woodburn for the third time today. He is 0 for 2. That is a number you don't normally see out of Braden Woodburn. And he's not going to go 0 for 3. Line drive into left field. That will send Ponce home. Not enough time to get the throw. They'll simply keep Woodburn at first. RBI single. Tampa extends their lead once again. 4th RBI of the year for Braden Woodburn. And he does it on the very first pitch from Creasy. 3 hits in a row for the Spartans. They're up 5-1. And does that see an action from the dugout? And a look towards the bullpen. Yes, it has action out of the dugout. But it is a mound visit He waves off the umpire. It doesn't look like it will be the call just yet. But those warm-ups will get a little more intense. Scratched out will take a quick breather. That is the day done for Creasy. Outing, but Tampa getting momentum leads to the quick change. Call to the bullpen. It'll be Matthew Birdsong entering the game. Was previously at East Mississippi Community College. The junior recently transferring to Montevallo this season. He was ranked number 85 in the state of Mississippi in the 2023 high school prospect class by Perfect Game. His favorite athlete, Spencer Strider. Favorite team, the Atlanta Braves. His favorite movie, Happy Gilmore. Wonder what he thinks about the sequel that released earlier this year. Anyway, Birdsong will be looking for a solid outing today as he completes his warm-up. He'll have one aboard at first, taking on Jake Books with one away. Birdsong did feature 3 times so far, and he's been good in those 3 innings that he's had. 2 strikeouts, 2 hits, and a walk. No runs surrendered. His 4th outing of the season begins with a transfer from Coastal Carolina. Books has a runner on with one away. Creasy will either finish with 5 or 6 earned runs. It depends if Woodburn makes it around the base path. We'll give you the Creasy full line score once the inning comes to a close. Ball 1, sliding down low. Good pickup by Brock. They're keeping an eye on Woodburn for good reason. He's got 3 steals this year. They did get the 3rd stolen base for Jordan Evans not too long ago. There goes the runner. Throw from Brock is high and into the outfield. They're going to send Woodburn the 3rd. An error from the catcher puts him all the way at 3rd base. Stolen base number 4 for Woodburn, and the error brings him the extra 90 feet. First error of the ballgame for Montevallo off a high throw from Brock. And now Books has a good sacrifice opportunity. And I think the infield is keeping an eye on the squeeze potentially. Look at the infield all coming in close. I don't think they're going to lay down a sacrifice bunt. As the count goes 2-1 to Jake Books. Struck out last time, grounded out his first time. A ground out hit in the right spot would bring home the runner. Tipped foul, make it 2-2. And given that they're not aggressively holding Woodburn at 3rd, he's taking a larger lead compared to where Turner is positioned. 2-2 on the way from Birdsong to Books. 3-2 on deck is Vanacek. He could get runners at the corners. He could have a 6-1 lead. He could have to wait till the next inning if there's a double play. But for now, payoff pitch to Jake Books from Birdsong. Popped up, and that'll bring the runner home. Waiting. Makes the tag. Here's the throw. It is close. Not in time. 6-1 Spartans. A successful out number 2, but it is a productive out after the error brought the runner to third. Creasy's line officially will end at 4 1/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Any future runs would be handled by the current man Birdsong or any further relievers down the line. Swing and a miss. Vanacek goes down 0-1. Struck out in the second, singled in the fourth. Down to the dirt. Make it 2-0. Inside 3-0 now. Tipped foul. That allowed a strike to make it 3-1. It might actually be 1-2. I think that is what the umpires confirmed as the count goes 2-2. 3-2 there. Ball 4, and Vanacek will work a walk. That'll bring up Irigoyen. Irigoyen went yard last time. Bullpen empty for Montevallo. They are giving Birdsong the chance to at least escape the inning. He did get that second out on the sac fly. Now there's another base runner. Notice the shift to the left. Strike 1, hitting low and in the zone. Oh, 1 to Irigoyen. Ripped the other way, 0-2. Birdsong needs one more strike to end the inning. One more time, the 0-2. Outside, 1-2. Hit up the middle. That's going to split the defense and send Woodburn to third. They will hold him up there. Runners at the corners. Vanacek to third. Got confused by the single digit for a sec. Productive outcome for Irigoyen, battling from a 0-2 count to 1-2. Getting another base runner for Gunnett Carlson. Carlson struck out and grounded out in his first 2 tries. Outside, almost an accidental pitch out there from Birdsong. Make it 1-0. What can Carlson do right here? 1-1, good take there. Breaking ball curving high and into the zone. 3 runs already scored for the Spartans in this frame. The 4th resting 90 feet away. Will Vanacek be able to make it? Here's the 1-1. 1-2. Another strike there. Good job working the outside part of the plate from Birdsong. Carlson trying to avoid going 0 for 3 today. Down low, runner goes. Irigoyen, I think, was watching for a drop third strike, and he'll get a steal. Uncontested on the other end from Brock. And it's a good idea to not have it be contested. If he mixes his throw, that allows Vanacek to come home for free. 2 in scoring position. Good steal from Irigoyen. Doesn't have too many opportunities to do that. The 2-2 is ripped and into the gap. That'll bring home run, and they will send Irigoyen home as well. Quick relay, not enough time to get the runner out at home. Vanacek and Irigoyen make it. Carlson a 2 RBI single. It is 8-1 Tampa. A clutch base hit from Carlson to bring up Javi Soto. And Tampa has put 5 on the board in the bottom of the 5th. Ball 1 missing outside from Birdsong. And you do imagine that Montevallo will now have someone more actively tossing, or at least making their way down there for the next inning. I think it's highly unlikely Birdsong will be back for the 6th. And that's going to get down for another base hit. Will they send the runner to third? No. Carlson holds up at second. A 2-out single from Soto sets the table for Fikar, who will now have his second at-bat of the inning. Tampa has batted around the lineup for the first time this season. I say first time because this is actually a somewhat common occurrence for Tampa's offense these last few years. Fikar at the plate. Flew out to start the frame, swing and a miss, strike 1. And should note that last at-bat was still against Creasy. So he now gets to take on Birdsong here. 1 strike, 2 away. Strike 2. Birdsong fires 2 straight into the zone. And 1 more strike would get him out of what has been a disastrous final 2 outs of the frame. Or more specifically, disastrous final out of the frame. Strike 3, gets him looking, hitting over. Three straight strikes. Freezes Fikar to end the inning. But not before 6 hits, 5 runs, and just 1 left on board. We'll be right back. Beer returns to the mound for the Spartans after getting out of the jam in the previous inning. It was 3-1 when he was able to make that quick escape. He's already earned himself a hold. If he goes the rest of the distance, he'll get a save. But no other Spartan pitcher, unless Montevallo make a huge rally to bring the scoreline to 8-5, would be in line for holds or saves of their own. But for now, Beer will continue as the inning opens with Jack Fitzgerald. And they are giving a lot of space down the middle for Fitzgerald. Ball 1. Tampa's infielders shifting pretty far out. Fly out and strike out for Fitzgerald. And he'll take that one for strike 1. He is yet to get on board this weekend. Almost gets on board with a hit by pitch. That goes inside 2-1. 2-2. Another strike from Beer right after the miss. He's doing a good job of recovering after falling behind in the at-bat. Swing and a miss for strike 3. First strikeout out of the bullpen for Beer, one away for Hollenbrock. First pitch hit to short, scooped up at third by Fikar, 2 away. Strike 1. New at bat here with Hudson Allen. Allen 0 for 2 so far with 2 groundouts. And that one hits him. A missed pitch puts Allen on base. 2 away to bring up Cartwright. And the perfect inning from Beer goes up in smoke. Cartwright won't be active, though. They're going to make a call to the bench for Preston Bedford. We'll see what Bedford can do here. He is a redshirt sophomore out of Phoenix City, Alabama. For the season, Bedford has had 1 at bat, couldn't get on board. He'll take ball 1, just a bit low from Beer. We'll see how long the relief outing is for Beer, given that he's exclusively had relief outings since 2024 with Indian River State College. Bunts it foul. Interesting call with 2 away as the count goes 1-1. I believe he might have been trying to emulate that Soto bunt hit we saw back in the 3rd inning. 8-1 Spartans, a 1-1 count. Now 1-2, another bunt, another foul. So 1-2. Here's Beer. Missing outside. I think that was the pitch that hit the previous runner. Slipping out of the hand to make it 2-2. High and away, 3-2. Foster is on deck, and they aren't going to replace him with a pinch hitter. Strike 3. They got him. Inning over. A long fight ends the frame. Beer does hit a batter, but it's clean apart from it. 1 stranded. We'll be right back. Here we go with a brand new frame. It looks like there is another change. Birdsong done after getting the final 2 outs of the previous inning. They will call upon the number 24, Landon Alton, out of the bullpen, previously at Marion Military Institute. The pinch hitter, Bedford, will go to center field. But now with a bit of a sidearm release, we will get to see the junior out of Alabaster, Alabama. As we get set for the at-bat, it will be the number 13, Jordan Evans, leading off for the Spartans. Funny to see the leadoff man leading off right here. Taylor Storley, you're watching Tampa Spartans TV, bottom of the 6th from the birdcage. Evans pops this one up, and that one's going to stay in play. Evans is going to go to first as the catch is made. It was a bit scary for a second. Alton almost couldn't find it, but he'll get out number 1. That'll bring up Jesse Ponce for his 4th try today. 2 RBIs on the day, from an RBI double to an RBI groundout. He's 1 for 2 with a walk. That was a very big bottom of the 5th from the Spartans, jumping to a 8-1 lead with 5 runs on the board. It came right after Montevallo scored their first run of the series. They've been kept quiet since. Good break on those offerings from Alton, but that one misses outside. Alton had 14 starts last season with Marion Military Institute. You'd imagine he'll be in a longer relief role today for the Falcons. Alton was active earlier, 2 1/3 innings on the season with 3 strikeouts. As the count goes 3-0, this might be his first walk of the year. That one just missing to Ponce. On deck is Braden Woodburn. That's a strike to keep the at-bat going, 3-1. Both Woodburn and Ponce picking up RBIs today. 6 on the season for Ponce, 4 on the season now for Woodburn. Ball 4, and Ponce works a walk, his 2nd of the game. And that'll be the first walk we see for Alton of the season, as he didn't concede any walks out of the bullpen in the previous 4 games for Montevallo to open the 2026 campaign. 1 on, 1 out for Braden Woodburn. He delivered his hit on the first pitch of his previous at-bat, and this time it's through the hole. The shift once again backfiring on Montevallo. Runners at the corners with 1 away. If they played a normal shift, the inning would have been ending on a double play, but instead Ponce makes it to 3rd for Jake Books to step up. And this is where having a side armor can backfire, because he is going to be at a big disadvantage against the lefty. Now, as a side armor submariner, you get really good splits against the same-handed batters. It's the batters that hit the opposite side of the plate that'll do a little bit better in these situations. So that opens the door for Alton. Ball 1, just missing. One and 0 to Bucks. Quick turn, safe. They almost were ready to send Ponce home from 3rd. A double steal definitely on the cards for the Spartans. If you're Brock, you're not going to realistically be able to throw out Braden Woodburn. You're going to have to hold on to the ball if he tries to steal second. Down low and inside. 2-0 to Books. This is a very good base stealing count. 12 hits on the day for you, Tampa. They were able to walk home a run yesterday. They'd need to load the bases before walking home a run today. Here's the 2-0. Woodburn stays put, but now he'll be moving to third as that one's lined to the outfield. Woodburn's going to stay put with a quick relay throw. It's an RBI single that scores Ponce. Second RBI of the game for Books, who had a sac fly back in the fifth. That'll bring up Walker Vanacek. 2 aboard, 1 away for the catcher / first baseman. He's done a great job of showcasing his multi-positional versatility this year as the new primary 1B for the Spartans. Wonderful move behind home plate tomorrow. Ball, nope, strike one just outside, clipping the corner. More active warm-ups beginning out of the Montevallo bullpen as Vanacek continues. Walked in the fifth, singled in the fourth, full count strikeout in the second. 1-1. Montevallo alum Gino Causey joins the Falcons as a volunteer assistant coach this year after graduating last year. Pretty cool sign to see a player tied with the Falcons athletic department now going full-time with the baseball team in the dugout. The rest of their coaching staff also includes associate head coach Ivy Starling, who's been there for 5 years, and Ben Chajet, who joins out of Dean College for his first season as the recruiting coordinator and assistant. Anyway, 2-1 now. Rip to short, this could be 2. There's the flip to second. Throw to first in time. 6-4-3 double play. And that'll get Elton out of the jam. Got into trouble. Did concede a run to give Tampa what is now a 9-1 lead. But the good news for Alton is that is all the Spartans can do on 2 hits with 1 stranded. A double play gets him out of danger. We'll be right back. So Beer continues on the mound. Top of the 7th from the birdcage. Taylor Storthy on the call for today's matchup. Tomorrow, the series finale. Who will be Tampa's starter? Not confirmed yet. A probable man could be the lefty B.J. Bailey. For Montevallo, we'll also have to wait and see. But thanks to their game notes previewing the series, we most likely have their answer out of the bullpen. Most likely, it will be Colton Jones, unless Coach Chandler Rose wants to try to switch some things up. The redshirt freshman out of Rochester Hills would be in line for the call. Strike one, chopped foul. Leading off is Foster. He'll be followed by Woolever and McGuire Turner. We'll see if there's any other pinch hitting changes for the Falcons, but for now they're keeping their main cast while we wait and see if there's any calls to the bullpen for the bottom of the 7th as well. Beer is back on the mound after completing another inning. Strike 2. Beer was able to get 2 Ks in the previous frame. Alongside hit by pitch, he was able to leave the runner on base. Down low, 1-2. We'll definitely have to see if Beer becomes kind of the high leverage closer for the Spartans. Maybe more of a versatile setup guy like Dalton Ross had been way back in the past. Kind of weird to call it way back in the past as it was only a couple years ago. But we're starting to get to that point where a lot of the roster didn't have a chance to play with Dalton Ross. I'd have to find some more Spartan relievers to use for some of those comparisons. Or maybe just some major leaguers too. That one rolled up the middle. Is it in range for the shortstop? Yes, Ponce is there. Throws in time, one away. Ponce hasn't been put to the test too much today at short, but he makes a good play right there to bring up Mason Woolever. He drew a walk and stole a base last time, his third steal of the season. He had 2 entering today, and he extends the Falcons' team lead. First successful steal for Montevallo this weekend as well. Strike 1. Coach Rose has praised Montevallo's offensive resiliency, and as they do trail by 8, I know he'll be hoping for the team. Maybe it won't be too hard for them to complete the full comeback, but they would love to try to get some more runs against the Spartans after putting a run against Glanton on the board earlier today. Swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Woolever retired immediately. Top of the order, McGuire Turner ready to go again. Hit by a pitch in the first, walked in the 5th. He's been on board twice today. Grounded down in the 3rd. Here he goes against Beer for the first time. Ball 1. Montevallo has actually left more runners on base compared to the Spartans today. But they haven't been able to get anyone on yet, make it a 1-1 count. One on the way. That one's driven to center field. That's going back to the warning track. And caught before the wall. Evans makes the catch. The inning is over. That one had some carry to it, but Montevallo remains scoreless since the 5th. Beer looking really good out of the bullpen. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 7th. Stretch time at the Birdcage. Bennett Johnson ready to go out of the bullpen. He's a freshman, a true freshman out of Coleman, Alabama. Standing at 6'3", he had 1 appearance earlier this year. 3rd of an inning, he did concede 1 earned run with a walk. He'll be looking for a slightly better outcome today, but he's got a very tough test. Johnson was stellar in high school. He had 3 no-hitters across his high school career. But this might be his welcome to the big leagues, and by big leagues I mean D2 moment, as he takes on the Spartans, Irigoyen, Carlson, and Soto. Irigoyen went yard earlier today. And he got a hit right afterwards, scoring as a base runner. 2 for 3, a great recovery after he started the weekend in a bit of a slump. First pitch from Bennett Johnson. Ooh, high and inside. Pushes Irigoyen off the plate. 1-0. Inside, 2-0. Johnson's favorite actor is Christian Bale. Wonder what his favorite performance out of Christian Bale is. Here's the 2-0 to Irigoyen. Hits that the other way. It's going to go foul. Would have been a long run for Carl if that was in fair territory. They're also using a pretty aggressive shift against the catcher. Make it 2-1. Irigoyen gets under this one. Not deep enough for a home run. It is a long run, but it's an easy one to make for Carl in the shadows. 1 away. That brings up Gunnett Carlson for the 4th time today. A 2 RBI single back in the 5th. He was able to help extend the inning, giving Tampa a full trip through the order. 10 at-bats in the bottom of the 5th. Luke Fikar had 2 chances to convert in the inning. Unsuccessful, sadly, both times. Javi Soto was successful, the man on deck. He had a single. Make it 1-1. Good spot there from Johnson. Outside, 2-1. The lucky 7th continues. Tampa couldn't convert in the lucky 7 yesterday. Here in the bottom half of the inning. Up the middle, out of reach of the shortstop. Second hit of the day for Gunnett Carlson. And that will bring up Javi Soto. 2 singles so far for Soto. Almost scored back in the 3rd inning, but Foster made a highlight play, throwing out the runner. Strike 1. Great breaking ball there to hit the zone. $14 hits on the day for the Spartans. Their offense has been very active. Make it 15 as Soto ropes one to left field. Awkwardly bobbled, it'll allow the runners to advance to 2nd and 3rd. Will they call the error on Woolever? I think they might, as he misjudged it on the turf. Either way, it's a single for Soto. It's not a true double as he advances, but I think they're not going to award an error on the play. Here comes Luke Fikar ready to go with runners in scoring position. He did a good sacrifice bunt earlier today. No call to the bench yet for the Spartans. Jordan Evans does go to the on-deck circle. Infield playing in, and I like that idea here, especially because a squeeze might be on the cards for Fikar. Ball 1 outside. This is what you'd call your welcome to D2 moment for Johnson, as the Spartans have him in trouble as the count goes 1-1. He does have that first out that he got in the at-bat against Irigoyen, but 2 straight hits from Carlson and Soto. 2 new players to the Spartans roster. Can Tampa reach double digits for the first time at home this season? Swing and a miss, 1-2. One, two on the way. Bennett Johnson to Luke Fikar. Ooh, umpire shook his head on a close call. Ball 2. Do want to give a shout out again to Sam Birch, John Bennett, the umpires for today's game. They were here yesterday. They switched roles for today's matchup. Wonder if the duo will be back at it again tomorrow, starting at 12 p.m. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Drop third strike. And Fikar out at first on the throw. First strikeout for Johnson. Make it the first strikeout of his collegiate career, coming at a very good time. 2 away now for Jordan Evans. Top of the order for you, Tampa. And is that Ponce on the on-deck circle? Yes, it is. But for now, it's an opportunity for the center fielder. Strike 1 to Evans. Popped out last time on the very first pitch of the 6th inning. He does have 3 hits, though. 2 singles and a triple. He scored twice as a base runner. 0-1 from Bennett. Down low, 1-1. Tampa scored runs in each of the last 3 innings, and they'd like to add another to the tally here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs, though. Do or die time for the Spartans offense. Well, they're up by 8, so I wouldn't call it a die situation. Do or don't. 1-1. Could spot, but Johnson's not getting any love from the umpire. Make it 2-1. Another close call, and Montevallo fans, who definitely have had a couple of times today where they haven't been super happy, definitely still feel that way. 2-1 on the way to Evans. Evans hit to short. Will be a close play at first. Throws on target. Inning over. Evans had a great infield hit earlier, but there was enough time for Allen to make that play successful. 2 hits. They played a run. Or they can't play anything here. We'll be right back. Entering the So here we go. Beer gets another inning on the mound. He's doing a good job eating innings for the Spartans pitching staff. And the words that Coach Urso told me this weekend, that Tampa was looking to get some more experience for their middle relief arms. Yeah, I guess that really hasn't turned out to happen in practice, because multiple times Spartans relievers have gone the distance out of the bullpen. Who knows if Beer will have a 4-inning outing here. Ball 1 up high. Stellar performance, though, so far for the junior out of Indian River State College, a player from the NJCAA Citrus Conference, where Santa Fe College is also located. It's a JUCO hotspot for SSC baseball, and especially the Tampa Spartans. Make it a 1-1 count. Leading off this inning for Montevallo is Caleb Carl. I thought his name was Carly yesterday, but no, it's just Carl with 2 L's. Make it 2-1. Carl had the lone RBI of the weekend for Montevallo, delivering in the 5th to knock John Luke Linton out of the ballgame. He won't be able to knock Beer out of the ballgame yet. Make it 2-2. Two ripped to short, and it's the first hit. Beer surrenders out of the bullpen. Carl being the leadoff base runner for the Falcons. There is some activity at the Spartans bullpen. If Beer gets into trouble, they might call upon a reliever. But for now, Beer continuing strong into his 3rd inning of work. 2 1/3 so far out of the bullpen with 3 Ks. That's the first base runner he's given up outside that hit by pitch to Hudson Allen. Strike 1. Good to see that Beer's got the stamina to go pretty deep out of the bullpen. He's been exclusively a reliever these last season and 1/50th. 0-2. Radford a little surprised, just confirms quickly with the home plate umpire that was a strike. Radford 0 for 2. He did get plunked in the 4th inning. Tampa has the lion's shares of hit by pitches today from their arms. Up high, 1-2. Good fastball, but doesn't draw a whiff out of Radford. Good discipline at the plate from the 27. Outside, that one just getting away. It's 2-2. Got him looking on the corner, strike 3. Fourth strikeout for Beer out of the bullpen. And that'll add the first out of the frame with 1 aboard. Jack Fitzgerald steps up to the plate here. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Fitzgerald's favorite band is Alice in Chains, so a flashback to the 90s for his music taste. Love to see it as the count goes 1-1. Tough weekend so far for Fitzgerald. Going up against the best team in the nation, he's looking to get on base for the first time. This would be a great time to do it with a man on first. 1-1 count from Beer. Rip to third, and they could turn 2. Fikar to second, throw to first in time. 5-4-3 double play ends the inning, and Beer stellar through 3 1/3 out of the bullpen. Last chance for the Tampa offense to deliver. Bottom of the 8th, Spartans. Johnson looks to continue on the mound, it seems, for the bottom of the 8th inning. No, they actually do make a swap. They are using everyone from the 20-digit numbers today. It is Matthew Sparks, the freshman out of Gadsden, Alabama, entering the game. So we had the 28 of Birdsong, 24 of Alton, 29 of Johnson, and the 26 of Matthew Sparks for the Falcons. Sparks had one outing beforehand. He gave up 2 walks. Couldn't do too much for his start of the season. He'll be looking for a better outcome right here, though. And he'll be taking on Dewup, Ponce, Woodburn, and Books. But there looks like there will be some changes, starting with former Pittsburgh Pirate A.J. Graham. A.J. Graham was drafted in the 18th round of the 2021 MLB draft by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Also coached by previous Spartan assistant Nelson North. Graham will be the first change Tampa makes on defense and offense outside of pitching. It'll be Sparks against Graham to open the inning. Popped up, foul, 0-1. 205 strikeouts for Sparks across his high school career. 70 strikeouts and 39 innings last year in high school for him. His favorite movie? Elf. And that is a classic. Will Ferrell. Really good movie to always enjoy around the holidays. Make it a 1-1 count to A.J. Graham as that one misses from Sparks. High and inside, 2-1. Unless one of them was a little bit different. I believe all the pitchers today for Montevallo are fans of the Atlanta Braves. Most of the players are local products from Georgia and Atlanta and Alabama. So, makes sense. 2-1 now for Matthew Sparks. Low and away, 3-1. On deck after Graham would be Braden Woodburn, but they're going to make a call to the bench for Drew Kennedy. Graham to center field. Will that drop? It is caught or on a hop. Hard to tell. It took a hop. The shadow kind of obscured the ball there. It's a single to start for A.J. Graham. So good job there for A.J. Graham to deliver. He's had one at bat previously at Georgia College. He had a hit there. He continues his 1,000 batting average here against Montevallo. That'll bring Drew Kennedy for his first at-bat of the season. He led the JV team last year with a .395 average and will get his first at-bat on the top team in 2026. Kennedy was previously a top prospect in the state of Pennsylvania. He comes out of Malvern, Pennsylvania. Ball one outside to Kennedy. We'll see if Kennedy moves to home plate or a different spot in the infield. Jake Books will be replaced on deck with Dennis McCaffrey. That one's going to miss, make it 2-0 to Kennedy. Down low, good take. Count goes 3-0. It's McCaffrey on deck. Low leverage outing for Sparks. Let's see if he can pick up his first out of his season. He'd love a double play. Strike one. That'll bring the count to 3-1 for Kennedy. Kennedy is also a left-handed batter, adding extra depth for the Spartans. He's been here a few years, was part of the 2024 championship winning side, although only played JV last year. As the count goes 4-1, that's a walk. Two straight base runners to start the frame for the Spartans. The A.J. Graham hit that evaded both Carl and Bedford in the outfield. And now that's going to bring up Dennis McCaffrey, pinch hitting for Jake Books. You imagine that McCaffrey will probably stay in right field afterwards. Vanacek also about to be replaced. On deck, it's Jacob Makara, ready to make his first appearance at the plate for the Spartans. He scored as a pinch runner before. Strike one to McCaffrey. Oh and 1. Sparks finding the zone open against McCaffrey. Swing and a miss. He couldn't hold up in time. Make it 0-2. Last year, McCaffrey had 8 at-bats and 2 RBIs in that span, getting on base at a .222 clip. He hit a walk-off home run for his father's 500th win as a high school coach. Strike 3. McCaffrey goes down looking. 3 straight strikes from Sparks. A great rally for his first collegiate strikeout after giving up 2 straight base runners. 1 away for Makara. The finance major picked up 9 varsity letters, makes his first Spartan plate appearance. He did feature as a pinch runner. He came home to score in that Georgia College series. But today he'll get to swing the bat against Sparks. First pitch to Makara. Ball 1. And you got to feel for Sparks. He's going up against quite a few left-handed batters off the bench for Tampa. With Kennedy earlier and Makara right here. Irigoyen's on deck, and they will make another change as well to replace him. High again, 2-0. It'll be Matthew Fogel taking some more upswings, it looks like. You imagine he'll stay in the game at the catcher position. Two and 1 to Makara. Good take. Always a good idea to keep the bat on your shoulder until you get a strike, even though that would have been a good pitch to hit. Makara has the advantage, 2-1 in the count. Missing away, 3-1. And Fogel could have the bases loaded. Now that would be cool. To give the senior a chance to deliver. Was only able to feature in 8 games last season, but did deliver 4 RBIs. Strike 2, full count for Makara. His first high leverage at bat of his career. Another high leverage at bat for Sparks, too. If it was 2 outs, the runners would be going, but only 1 on the board, so they'll likely stay put. Sparks to Makara. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. He would have been running on that drop third strike, but with 2 on board, he'll head back to the dugout. Second strikeout for Spark. Here comes Fogel. Carlson will not be replaced with a pinch hitter if the inning continues. It is Fogel stepping up to the plate right here. After a hit and a walk, a great rally from Sparks. 2 on board with 2 outs. Strike 1 to Fogel. Fogel had 3 RBIs in last season's 27-1 win against Eckerd. Tampa up 9-1 here. He'd love to add to that tally. But he's now down 0-2. Sparks hits the corner, and the senior struggling against the freshman. 1 more out, and Sparks will have struck out the side. Can he do it and leave 2 on the base path? High and away. Good call there from Brock. Just a little outside. One, 2 from Sparks. Swing and a miss. 3 straight strikeouts after getting into a little trouble to keep Tampa off the base path. 1 hit, 1 walk, 2 stranded. It's off to Last Chance Saloon. Tampa leading 9-1. So, Beer will not be in line for the save. He is pulled for the final inning. Instead, it'll be Cade Drohan getting the call for his Spartans debut. He was previously at Virginia Tech and had 2 appearances with them in 2025. He came from Indian River State College to Virginia Tech after pitching for them in 2023 and 2024. Picked up 2 Ks in 1 1/3 innings. He'll likely have the full final inning to try to close out the day-to-day. It looks like we'll also see some changes at the plate for Montevallo. Brock to be replaced for. Looks like they'll be bringing on Easton Klein, the sophomore out of Gardendale, Alabama. A lot of defensive changes for the Spartans. We do know only a few of them. A.J. Graham has moved over to third base. Fogel has moved to home plate, forming the battery with Drohan. Swing and a miss, strike 1 from Drohan. Looks like it'll be Devin Goldberg at second base. He's a player that I think recently got called up from the JV roster as the count goes, 1-1 from Drohan. Fikar slides from third base to short. That one's popped backward, make it 1-2. Drew Kennedy replaces Vanacek at first. And McCaffrey replaces Brooks out in right field. Soto and Evans stay in the game. 1-2 from Drohan. Swing and a miss. That's his first Spartan strikeout against Klein. One down in the top of the ninth. That'll bring up Hudson Allen. And they are going to make a call to the bench for him, too. It'll be Kevin Dolan stepping up to the plate. You'd imagine that they'll keep Bedford in the game. He was already a pinch hitter replacement for Cartwright. First pitch from Drohan with 1 away. High and in for strike 1. Wonder if Drohan would eventually become a high leverage arm for Tampa as well. He comes from a D1 program. He's out of West Palm Beach as the count goes 0-2. His brother, Shane Drohan, not only played for Florida State, he's currently with the Boston Red Sox, as that'll miss down low, 1-2. I wonder if Shane Drohan has gotten a chance to play with Spartan alumni Drew Earhart and his brother, Zach Earhart. Strike 3, clips the corner. 2 Ks for Drohan to begin the ninth. This time gets Dolan looking. Bedford, the last out potentially for Montevallo. Strike 1. So I don't think Drohan's had the chance to play with them yet. But he might if he starts this season in Double-A. Drohan had quite a bit of time at Worcester. Or Shane Drohan had quite a bit of time at Worcester last year, as the count goes 1-1. But cool to see that Cade Drohan is somehow connected to Spartan alumni with the Red Sox organization from his brother. Strike 2, and it's kind of ironic that Tampa's connection to the Red Sox organization also comes to the brothers, as you see the sun playing an impact on that toss back to the mound. Always a tough glare when you look down at the field. These late into the games in the afternoons, that shadow that you see by the mound makes it tough when receiving the ball from the catcher. Inside, ball 2. Alex Caney had trouble fielding a ball in a game against Barry with the sun shining down on a similar play. It was one of the really rare bad outings for Caney in his Spartans tenure. 2-2. Tipped. 2-2. Still. Almost into the glove. Bedford stays alive. Cade Drowan up 2-2. Got the corner, strike 3. That's the ball game. Strikes out the side on his Spartans debut. Drowan closes the door for Tampa to win the series. 2 wins to start an exciting home weekend. John Luke Lanton will improve to a 2-0 record. Got into a little trouble in the 5th. Beer got out of trouble and then cruised through 3 more innings before Drowan comes in and seals the deal. Beer does get robbed of a save as he doesn't return for the 9th, but he will pick up his first hold of the season as Drowan closes the door. The loss goes to Creasy, who also battled through 4 innings, having to get pulled in the 5th. Birdsong, Alton, Johnson, and Sparks pick up solid innings out of the bullpen. On offense, it was a great day across the board for Tampa. The big moment came from Yoander Irigoyen, breaking out of the slump with a 2-run shot. Big plays across the board, though. Ponce with 2 more RBIs to add to the tally. A.J. Graham even getting a hit off the bench. Another thing you just love to see. And Tampa will now improve to a 4-0 start to the season. Montevallo fall to an even .500 record. But the weekend is not over yet. We will be active one more time. Tomorrow at noon, the Spartans and Falcons face off for the final time this weekend. Hope you're ready for some earlier morning baseball or very early afternoon baseball, depending on what time you want to call 12 p.m. Should be an exciting day. Don't know who will start from the Spartans. Projected guy would likely be Bailey. Meanwhile, the very likely starter, we already know from Montevallo, would probably be Colton Jones.